Tonight, I can report to the American people and to the world that the United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama bin Laden.
Where we continue to follow the capture and killing of Osama bin Laden now.
Those are just some of the scenes overnight as thousands of Americans gathered in celebration of Osama bin Laden's death.
Former Navy SEAL Rob O'Neill says he has thought about the mission every day since that May Day in 2011.
For multiple conversations you had with Rob O'Neill over the past year and a half, how'd you get
access? And you described that his head kind of exploded when you hit him.
I actually hit him 3 times because I shot him twice when he was standing and once on the ground.
That is the fucking American badass right there.
Go, go, go. We are not going for fame and we are not going for bravado. We are going for the single mom who dropped her kids off at elementary school on a Tuesday morning, and then 45 minutes later she jumped to her death out of a skyscraper.
If you need help, hang up and then dial your operator.
I'm Rob O'Neill, and this is the Operator Podcast. Episode 112, welcome to it. This is the Operator. I am your host, Robert J. O'Neill, former Navy SEAL. Calling it that because I want to hear from you as an operator what you think about what we talk about here. It has been getting a little political lately. We're going to try to avoid some of that today, but we're getting so close to the election, it might happen. But to help me, I'm going to bring in my brother, Tommy O, the real Tommy O up in Butte, Montana. He's going to come on in here and we're going to pipe up about a few things and hopefully fix the world's problems and whatnot. I am going to ask you if you've done what I've been telling you to do the past few weeks and go check out MyPillow, because I just approached them a couple weeks ago and was asking about what's going on up there, and they said that they had a huge order that got canceled because they're big into the cancel culture in their particular line of work. So the savings, they go right to you. If you go to mypillow.com, check out only a classic MyPillow is only $14.88, and that's the one I was telling you about where they say that's a Nazi word, the number 88. That's actually angelic, but it's all BS. That's what sometimes the media does, but it does get better. For a limited time, they're going to take their entire collection at wholesale. So that's you can get a queen size MyPillow for $18.88, upgrade to a king for $1 more. Get that awesome full body pillow for $29.88, or multi-use MyPillow for $9.88. You got to go check that out too. Go to mypillow.com and use code the operator. It could be one word, code the operator at checkout, and you will get those amazing prices. So check that out and go to mypillow.com or call 800-927-7204. They will also give this show credit too, because we got to keep rocking and rolling. Go check out MyPillow. I'm serious. These pillows are awesome. Everything there's awesome. mypillow.com, call the operator. And we're going to bring on Tommy O'Neill. I need to talk about our sponsor today. I've mentioned Mando before. I just actually got a 4-pack in the mail today. It's great to travel with. They came out with this 4-in-1 acidified cleansing bar. It's a 5-ounce bar that does the work of shampoo, face wash, body wash, and deodorant. You can actually use a good lather for shaving, so it's like a 5-in-1 if you think about it. The 4-in-1 acidified cleansing bar is formulated with a gentle alpha hydroxy acid that stops odor at the source. Regular soap does not do that. I don't know really what alpha hydroxy or pH means, but the shit works. It's developed by a doctor, and I love it. This simplifies your hygiene routine to the only one thing you really need to pack. And I travel a lot. I'm talking like 19 straight days in a carry-on with no laundry in between there. So that's a lot. So this one bar does me a lot of good. Saves up a lot of room too for whatever whatever else I might need. If it's a black tie, a tux, stuff like that. You can get these 3 quality scents. Mount Fuji is fresh and woodsy. Bourbon leather is awesome. It's sweet and sophisticated. Pro Sport is clean and citrusy. And, of course, the Mount Fuji is a must-go. A must-go. The smell of Mount Fuji is awesome. My wife smelled it the first time, said she wants me to wear nothing but that. So she loves the new stuff. I love the new stuff. It's a whole body. They've got all kinds of stuff on the site too. Whole body deodorant. Mando is seriously safe to use anywhere on your body. All over deodorant, anywhere. Pits, package, grundle, smelly places. Made by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. And Mando is American-made, aluminum-free, baking soda-free. It's cruelty-free. It's dye-free, and it's vegan. And Mando's starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream 2 deodorant, 2 free products of your choice. I got just got mini body wash and deodorant wipes and free shipping. And I have a discount code for you right now to get you hooked on your favorite smelling whole body deodorant on the market. New customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code. That equates to 40% off your starter pack when you use code THEOPERATOR at checkout at shopmando.com. 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 Use code THEOPERATOR. Get $5 off your starter pack. I need to tell you about a sponsor of the show called Public Rec. I checked them out the other day, and I golf quite a bit when the weather's nice. I bought a pair of their shorts as soon as I got them. That's all I wear now. Shorts. I actually slept in a pair of Public Rec shorts last night. They're so comfortable. I'm holding a pair right here. Publicrec.com. If you go there, you can check out all their clothes, their hoodies, their pants. The pants are just like stretchy, but you can get away with wearing them. Functions. It's kind of like having a country club sweats, but they take belts that look good too. So stop suffering in regular pants. For a limited time, our listeners get 20% off when you use the code THEOPERATOR at checkout. That's at publicrec.com. PUBLICREC.com. That's 20% off there when you use code THEOPERATOR. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you there to publicrec.com. Say goodbye to pants that put up a fight, because when comfort meets style, you found Public Rec. So upgrade your wardrobe instantly. Use code THEOPERATOR at publicrec.com to get 20% off. They're seriously very comfortable. The reason I wanted to jump on with the Tommy is two reasons, because this should be episode 112 or 112. And the reason I'm not doing anything is because I don't have any notes whatsoever. I have no plans. I've got a couple of events. I'm doing a Tunnels to Tower thing. I'm doing a couple other things with my foundations. And I was like, I need to record a podcast because people need to be in the know. So I'm going to call Tommy O, and that's where you come in. So what have you been up to today before we get
I've been moving stuff out of my house into my garage.
Dude, I'm telling you. I'm moving.
It's the worst thing you can go through. Well, I mean, within reason, but it's bad.
No, I'm on board with you. There's a lot of there are bad things that go on sometimes. Like combat's bad, but it's not the worst thing that can happen. Like, all right, but fucking moving, you're not even allowed to shoot people when you're moving. And if you do, it's like the paperwork just.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you put, I mean, if they say, which they'll probably ask you at the police station, why did you go on the shooting spree? And you'd say, well, I was moving. Moving here, there's a permit.
Yeah, you were moving when we were shooting at you.
Yeah, we had a lot of crazy stuff with that. We're moving about 2.5 weeks after the house fire. It was 2 doors down.
Well, since everyone here
was a house fire, 3 doors down was a concert. That was 4 weeks.
All right. See, now you're already setting the tone, and I like it. You said so. From where you're moving, 2 doors down was a fire.
Yes, a crazy arson fire.
Okay, let's get into that before I don't want to hear what happened with 3 doors down. Tell me about the 2 doors down thing.
Well, we have a situation of a neighbor who doesn't medicate themselves as they should, and they have. I think there's schizophrenia involved. Yeah. So she's been wreaking havoc on the neighborhood for about a month, and finally burnt down her house.
That'll show the neighbors.
That's in a nutshell. I mean, this tree has many branches.
What's our favorite? Is it a limerick or a poem? Roses are red, violets are blue. I'm schizophrenic, and so am I.
So am I.
Yeah. So your schizophrenic neighbor she did something bad. What? Okay, just to back up, we're talking about Butte, Montana. Go.
Yes. This is even kind of odd for Butte. Even you can believe that.
Well, I mean, we've talked about this. What is your fourth or fifth time talking to me on the podcast?
I think this is number 4.
So people they're familiar with Butte, which is good for me. I like that.
That is good. Yeah,
because it's never a dull moment. Like it is not. Here's as backwards as Afghanistan is with their time zone is 30 minutes off. You know that, right? Like
30 minutes.
What 30 like 11 hours and 30 minutes. Like we couldn't be any more backwards than that. Butte, Montana is another one too, where it's like, it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, things happen in Butte. I mean, there's,
Yeah, like
there's a lot of.
the fire started. Evil Knievel.
If Knievel could have somehow jumped the trailer fire, that would have been something.
He would have crashed. One of the things about Evil Knievel, though, is funny is like people say, he's not a dick. He was just from Butte. It brings the dick out.
I only had one interaction with Evil Knievel, and it was very well. The one that I was a part of, where I was there and I saw with my 2 eyes, and he was a great guy. He was fantastic. I was the ring announcer at the first Evil Knievel Days Smoker.
The boxing stuff.
Yeah.
Now, when was that?
This would have been about, I think it was around maybe 2003.
So obviously this is like 10 years after the UFC started, but this is before like MMA, jiu-jitsu, all that stuff came out. So the Smoker is like, put on these heavy ass gloves and beat the fuck out of each other. Butte, Montana.
Yeah. It was. And
what was Evil fighting out of his wheelchair? What was going on?
Strangely, he came by the part of the ring where I was seated. He actually came up. He complimented me. It was really nice. And then the funny thing is that Mr. Ed Lysick, who was about Evil's age, came behind him, and the two of them almost got into a fist fight. They were
cool. I would love, dude. I would have loved to see that because the Lysicks, they're famous mechanics. Lysicks Tire, and those are tough dudes.
Yeah, and they don't, they're not impressed by motorcycle jumpers.
No, and
there was probably something going back decades that rears its ugly head at the Evil Knievel Days Smoker.
Oh, dude, remember when I brought all those seals up for Evil Knievel Days?
That was ridiculous. That was the craziest.
Remember
Frodo. Remember Frodo?
Yeah, I do.
Remember Frodo had to go the Irish goodbye for about 3 hours, and then he came back after. That was when Spanky Spangler jumped his car into the buses on purpose.
That's exactly what happened. He had and how old is he now? He's pushing like mom's.
I think 7. So Spanky was here in Butte.
And what did he do?
Last summer, he jumped from a crane. Of course. What did he do?
Not last summer. This summer.
Yeah, like a couple months ago.
He's like he's. What's funny is because mom said she saw it, and mom's and grandma's age. And what's funny is I don't know if it was her joke, but it was something like Spanky falling at the speed of gravity was almost as fast as mom running to a Keno machine.
Hey, that thing's ready to hit.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, because when we brought the guys up there too, I remember because Frodo was there, Tiny was there.
Tiny there? Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Well, he was the one.
Tiny was there. Tiny was there
when the cops came up to us, and because I was at SEAL Team 6 at the time, and all the guys were there, and I sold it to SEAL Team 6 as a jump trip, high altitude trip, horse and mule trip, which it was, but it coincided with the way that I set the course up was it coincides with Evil Days, and also I'm going to need more funding because we're riding horses, we need cowboy boots.
Yeah.
And who was with us was, remember Dirty Dan Corbett? He was there. Yes. American Mercenary. Did you follow that when I interviewed him? He got arrested and spent a year and a half about in a Serbian prison for running guns.
No. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. No. So here we go. But I brought him to Miller's Boots and Shoes. And basically all I was trying to do, because we got the funding there for whatever. And it's like, dude, we're going to get cool cowboy boots. And Corbett said, hey, can I get these Stingray boots? I'm like, how much are they? Like $300. I'm like, let me call my boss. So Corbett was basically a new guy at Red Team, SEAL Team 6. And so I called back and I said, hey, homie, I'm sorry. I said, hey, sir, we need these. I need a waiver for these $300 boots. He's like, why? I'm like, well, because Corbett's obviously up front riding point, and the rattlesnakes are horrible. They're taller boots. They're not at all. They just had Stingray shit on. They're gorgeous.
But hey,
when we finished that trip, so we had Red Squadron there, and we had Tiny there, and the cops said, man, we love having you in town, but we're excited to see you leave because it looks like fucking dinosaurs walk through this place.
That was bad.
Anyway, that was Evil Days, and I now. Again, I'm going to get shit for this, but when I talk about the Operator Podcast, I always get yelled at in the comments for interrupting. I'm not going to interrupt. I'm going to be a good interview. Tell us about Evil Days in Butte, Montana. Go.
Well, it's not going on anymore. There was some, for whatever reason, but when it was going, it was started out as a full week of just uptown party in the streets. Butte already doesn't have an open container law, so you can, game on. So they're dragging this party out for with concerts. Joan Jett was there for the first one.
Oh,
I haven't seen her since my wedding.
Started with Joan Jett and it ended with Black Flag.
Oh, dude.
That's
somewhere in the middle were the Heartbreakers.
Black Flag and the Heartbreakers live at Evil Days. No, so they'd have stunts, and he had stuntmen from all over the world, and they'd get the goofiest kind of stunt people you could find, and they'd have, there was the the Ball of Death with like the 3 motorcycles.
Oh my God, I remember that.
Yeah, that thing. They had well, Spanky Spangler would come every year and do some ridiculous jump or some stunt. He jumped off the Finland Hotel, which is we're talking about 8 stories. That's big in Butte, and he
That's
jumped
huge.
out that thing on fire. So that'll give you everything you need to know about Evil Days, I think, right there.
Well, Spanky Spangler is like he jumped a taxi cab into 2 buses that were supposed to represent the World Trade Center as a tribute, but like he did that, and we were there. And now Frodo, people don't know. I got to get Frodo on this podcast, but he's one in a million. Frodo actually wasn't a SEAL; he was a comm guy, but being a communicator, he was always in the know of what's actually going on. And like, I remember he snuck us in there and we're right next to those buses when Spanky crashed into it. And I think our cousin Joe was there. And, Uncle Cousin Joe, who's always trying to make shit rational. He was like, what the fuck are all you guys doing here? And all Frodo said to Joe, and I should have been doing this since we were 10, was just enjoy the ride. Just enjoy the ride.
But Frodo came out.
Having said that,
Frodo didn't. He came out
he's
with
not
a
the
video.
voice of reason. He's just the voice of your reason.
He said, "No, he got video of the jump, but he had it from under the ramp."
I think he had it from. Yeah, he snuck in there and just enjoy the ride. And Spanky crashed into the dam. Well, it's like Spanky just jumped. Yeah, the Finland Hotel, and that's a place where presidents stayed. But and later that night, and you got to figure we were with a bunch of dudes, and then someone picked a fight with us, and Frodo was in. Yeah, and Frodo was in the middle of it, and this Butte girl said, "Oh, I'm going to call my boyfriend. He's going to show up," and she's like, "Give me the phone." And he gave the boyfriend the directions to where we were, and they showed up.
I saw that. I saw that.
Well, it didn't last long. That was weird.
Well, it was across Main Street. They had to walk across from the M&M to the park where you guys were, and that was the strangest walk I've ever seen a bunch of tough guys take. They were really strutting until they got about halfway across, and nobody was leaving. The dynamic changed a lot.
I think they saw Tiny. He got out of his Suburban that was for some reason in the Earth's mantle. He crashed.
Tiny crawled out of the ground and did a tiny smash. No, the fight was over in about 20 seconds.
Tiny, what are you gonna do after you whoop these 6 guys' ass? I don't know. Go back to hell, right?
With meatloaf. I want meatloaf.
Can you tell that Tiny story one more time? Because we were at Fox News.
I can.
I don't think you knew Tiny as well as I do. But how'd that go down? Because we did the Fox News special around 2015.
Yeah, it was right. It was right then. We were in New York, and so that would have been, I think, the second time I was around Tiny. But this was the first. Every time I'd been around him, it was in a group setting, or a brawl, or sometimes occasional gunfight, maybe. So somehow we're staying we're both in the Manhattan. I think that was the name of the hotel. But we both wound up on the same elevator by ours. It was just me and him, and that's a moment of reasoning where you just think to yourself that just whatever you do, don't piss this guy off. Don't say something stupid. So.
What's that famous line with Mike Tyson is your roommate your cellmate in prison, and he says he's gonna fuck you? The toughest thing you can say is, "Well, for how long?"
Yeah, how hard you gonna go, Iron Mike?
I don't have all day. You'd actually be fucking me all day. Anyway, I keep interrupting. Sorry.
All that comes to my mind is, "Hey, Tiny, how you doing?" And he kind of looks down at me, and I think he cleared his throat. Looked at me and said, "I want meatloaf."
Yeah.
So I went out and found him meatloaf. Luckily in Manhattan, there's a place right on every corner. Wish you would have wanted a gyro. I don't know.
And then I believe he always tacks on the mashed potatoes.
Oh, mashed potatoes.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
tiny.
what a time though. That was how did we get onto the Evil Knievel's in Butte, Montana? We were talking about moving, and then we got into Evil Days, and that's
Oh yeah, just starting to fire. I just want to set the whole damn thing on fire and just call it good there. But I can't. My insurance isn't that good.
Yeah. So speaking of getting yelled at for interrupting, and speaking of Montana, Butte, Montana, we obviously need to segue into how awesome Tim Montana is. Because I don't know if
Found this little thing from the. You can see it from the birthday party.
Look at that! Hold it up a
with
little
Tim
high. Look at
Montana.
that.
You can see, and this is back here, Tim Montana and the Shrednecks. But my band Blacklist is a little tiny writing right there. So the way I see it,
Yeah.
my band opened for Tim Montana. Tim Montana opened for Creed.
Also,
I'm only one band away from technically being in Creed.
Get a load of this.
Well,
Guess who's opening for this podcast? High or Road.
There we are. The old band was Blacklist. Pretty much the same band. It's just me and the guitar player both got fired by the drummer at different times.
It doesn't work that way. You can fire him. He can't fire you.
No, we formed a new band without the drummer, and now we're more successful. I don't know.
Well,
maybe we weren't the problem.
So you and I we've seen Creed
twice,
more last month than we have in our entire lives.
I saw Creed more times last month than I saw my own band play that time.
And they're coming back to New York, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a different tour. They're doing a new set. Yeah, I'm just
obviously, yeah. But if they don't play My Own Prison 3 times, I'm walking out. But I mean, so Timmy opened. So you flew in here, and then we took a car up to Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
And when it first started, I've talked about Creed before on the podcast. Like when we initially got invited to the 9/11 thing in Dallas, I thought it would be like kind of a goof. Like, yeah, Creed's back. They're going to be fat and like us and just whatever. And it's like haha, you were awesome. And then, dude, they fucking
they tore it up. It was. I want to bring my phone up and show videos over this. I mean, they were they were. I mean, they were note perfect. They were. I mean, they were theatrical. The lights were incredible. The sound was fantastic. Both times they were on. I mean, that's not by accident.
Well, and get a load of this. You're coming out. You don't have a choice. Make sure you block the dates off. But they're playing Madison Square Garden, and that's no joke because you sell that out. Guess what? You're fucking back, dude.
Well,
and they're probably already sold out.
It's worth it. I mean,
dude, they got. Can I share with you a funny story?
Oh yeah.
Sorry. Can I have you share with my audience a funny story?
Oh dear, yes.
Okay, good. And again, I just hit record when you answered. Like this is not scripted. There are zero, and I have nothing on this desk. We're just going to talk. But I've been recently experimenting with psychedelics and other stuff to ease your craziness, whatever you've dealt with in the past. And one of the things I love is cannabis, THC. And I'm actually going to open my own place. I'm not going to say where because it's not in the process yet, but I think THC is nice too because you've never had a gnarly bar fight with a bunch of guys smoking weed. No. However, having said that, we went to the Creed concert and I was like, I said, Tommy, can I get a hit off your pen? Because it would chill me out. I'm good. I'm fine, but I just want to enjoy the music. And I took a hit of your pen. And you said, okay, I'm going to go to the bathroom now. And I think my response was, how? And you came back either 10 minutes or 50 years later. And because I'm enjoying the music, but I asked you, Tommy, how do you navigate through this many people? I can't even move. I'm just enjoying Creed. Do you remember your response to me?
What was it? No.
It was, well, when you were killing terrorists, I've been smoking weed. I'm good.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, yeah. I mean, that's how I did my part for the country.
No, I thought, but I mean, they're coming back and they're playing Madison Square Garden. It's going to be dope. But I mean, Tim Montana, again, if people don't remember, can you just give, because you're the first guy to play him on the radio. Can you give a background on that?
Yeah, this is right around the first Evil Days back there, right around it was about 2005, maybe he came in. I mean, he was done, I think, he worked with Johnny Highland before. And he came in and he had a song called Butte America that he wanted to get on the radio station. He happened to talk to me. It was a good song. good enough to play. You know, it was still a rough cut, and then we just sort of formed a bond from there, and it just he got better. I mean, he got hooked up with so many good people. You guys met. He was working on a song called "Freedom's Never Free," I think, and he wanted to know. You wanted to know because you guys, I don't think it hooked up at the time. And, like,
no,
like an older brother. I know he's a SEAL. What is and it branched out from there. I mean, then you guys both went on to huge things, and it's.
Well, I was actually I was living in a house in Jalalabad, Afghanistan when you sent me that audio of his song, and I was like, yeah, I mean, this obviously nitpicking it to death, but this kid's good from Butte, Montana, and then I met him for the first time in Butte at Metals, but then to watch how he's like now is the song he introduced me to right before Creed was. Die Today.
My goodness.
It's on it says, I forgot to die today. And it's about PTSD. Like, it means I forgot to kill myself today. And the way he crushed that. And then, like, watching his evolution from that to, I think the best story about Tim was when he said to his manager, hey, look, someone fell out because they moved the date. Should I open for Creed? And his manager said, I don't know. Do you like opening for sold out arenas? Yeah, you should.
But how about the way he got, he's got the first spot on the bill. So people are still kind of filtering in. He brought the crowd in. The crowd that was watching him was sold. And how about the response afterwards? People were, we're from Butte. We've known him as a country. I mean, he started out kind of country rock, and so that's natural to us. And it struck me as funny that people were finding that, they found that strange that he, has that kind of a background. But he
was always kind of that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you see his collaboration when he gets the work he did with Kid Rock, the work he did with Billy Gibbons, just Dave Grohl, and you see him, kind of learning from the bigger guys a little bit, spinning it into his own, and just destroying it. I'm so proud of him. He did so
well. What's cool too is he always makes the most of it. And people just love him. Like there was the thing. We actually went to dinner. when I lived in Midtown Manhattan, we went to dinner with Dave Grohl and his wife, and Tim Montana showed up, and I brought Jessica, and we went out there and having some cocktails and whatever. And Tim being Tim, I don't know if you don't know Tim Montana, you will find this out if you hang out. I'm just talking to my listeners that if you have a couple cocktails, he will try to wrestle you. And he was wrestling Dave Grohl, and I'm in the restaurant, and so I walked over and I broke it up. And we all went outside and had a Parliament light. We smoked a cigarette, and it was just fun. And the next day, like the New York Post reported, Dave Grohl gets in a fight with a musician, and Navy SEAL breaks it up. I'm like, sort of. We.
Well, yeah. Well, Tim's a big dude too. Tim.
Well, what's funny is he actually knows how to wrestle too. I've been with him before, having a few beers, and then in my own kitchen in a wrestling match. It's like, this dude doesn't know anything, but man, he's top heavy.
He keeps hitting me with that Telecaster.
Yeah. I'm not sure what's in his pocket, but this beard is delicious. I think they used the beard too. That's too funny. But yeah, well, just going from that to watching him open for Creed, and then that's just that dude, I complain a lot about traveling. That dude travels a lot.
Oh, you just seeing, he's not afraid to book a date, have a date in Nashville, then play DC, and then book something in Idaho. He is going to be, he's opening for Miles Kennedy, which is kind of the other side of the Creed equation. When Creed broke up, the other Scott Phillips, Tremonti, and Brian Marshall formed Alter Bridge with Miles Kennedy and had success. And then there's so many avenues.
How are they going to solve that? Like cage match?
What do you do? They're the same musicians, but they're different bands. Miles Kennedy and Scott Stapp are both emotional, both phenomenal singers. They bring something different. I'm fans of both. I'm a Creed guy all the way, but I've always liked Alter Bridge as well.
I'm definitely.
Is that legal? I don't know.
I have no idea. I don't even know. I don't know the legalities of anything.
I'm asking the wrong guy.
I know. I just know that I'm in the process of moving like you are. That's why I've got the things behind me. Speaking of moving too, I'm going to golf again this week a couple times. You want to know why it's going to be good? You want to know why I'm going to get 40 yards on my drive?
Just pure frustration?
Oh yeah.
Or wait.
Hang on. I just got my new golf shoes.
Wait a second. Oh man. Carolina blue.
Are those high top golf shoes? The answer is yes.
Those are golf shoes?
Yeah, that's why I showed you. I actually have a golf paddle right here.
Oh.
And somewhere around here is the actual script to Navy SEALs. Charlie Sheen sent that to me.
I've got a Chicago Bears light that might do things. That might not. I get nothing.
The Bears. How about that picture of Jim McMahon with my knife?
Can I speak openly to Jim McMahon here just
Please,
for a moment?
please. I will send this to Jim McMahon. Please, because now, again, just to back, we got to back up. You've been the biggest Bears fan I've ever met forever. And I remember watching when the Bears, when the Bears played the Patriots. I mean, before Tom Brady Patriots in Super Bowl 20, was it? Or was it 20?
It was Super Bowl 20, yes, January 28th, 1986.
But I remember Dad had a TV at his apartment and a little shitty TV, and we watched it on that. And then Jim McMahon was playing. All of a sudden, this dude buys my knife. That's crazy.
I remember. I mean, I read his book probably 10 times growing up. And then what happens? You and him get sent to the same. You got to be roommates at a golf tournament, and he FaceTimed me.
I FaceTime you, yeah, because we were sharing the same bathroom. I mean, we weren't sharing. It's not like we were
at the same time. I mean, it wasn't like, Jim, I'm busy. Yeah, no.
It's not like when they're playing whose fist is bigger.
Well, he's got a Super Bowl ring, for crying out loud.
Oh my God! Yeah, take that off and we'll talk, cowboy. That is yeah. I got that picture this week too. It's funny how the world revolves, but it's small, large planet, small world. So we're planning. So Creed just finished their summer tour. They're going into the fall tour, and that's MSG. So we got to go to that. Correct?
That's happening. Yeah, that's got to happen.
Okay, cool. Also, so with moving everywhere, do you ever notice that people come in and start unplugging shit?
Yeah.
I was like 20 minutes late for this call because all my shit was unplugged.
I found just the weird shit you find when I found a beautiful. I mean, it was well written. It was beautiful penmanship. It was the nicest thank you card. It went along with the picture that was attached. I have no idea who the family is. I don't know where this came from. It's not our family. It's not the lovely Jessica's family. My Jessica. Jessica's family.
What was the thank you card for?
It was kind of a thank you for a meal, is what I got out of it. I don't know. But the gist was the picture that it was attached to. So not only did I not recognize the names, I don't know who one of these motherfuckers are.
I know. I'm starting to wonder who I am. Going through my stuff because I needed to redecorate because I'm moving as well. I don't want to tell everybody that. Just speaking of Tim Montana, I did find this awesome candle that Grandma gave me of Jesus.
Oh.
Yeah, he looks good.
What do you think the odds are do you think we could have slipped that pastor?
I seriously am going to send this. Well, God rest her soul. Grandma's not with us, but I think I can get this into Mom's house, and she wouldn't notice.
I'm willing to. Okay, I'm willing to be a part of this.
I think the further she would go, she would say, "Why does Jesus have a guitar?"
That would tip her off.
I think the answer to that would be maybe because he's the best drummer in the world.
That's Mom. And there's also replacing all the pictures, all the faces with Gary Busey one by one.
Oh my God, that's funny. That's one of the best gags. Talk about crazy. So, speaking of Jesus and Dave Grohl, and we talked about THC and some psychedelics, and I didn't do another episode of psychedelics because I think people are tired of hearing about it. But I want to get your opinion on this because you're a Catholic. We went to Catholic school.
Mm-hmm.
I got hit up by a dude that's not quite a priest yet. He's in seminary, And he said, I've been listening to your podcast about psychedelics, and I got to warn you that that's how the demons come in. Because when you're in that state of mind, you're vulnerable. The demons come in. And I truly appreciate that he said that, but also why have so many people gone back to the church after taking Ibogaine? Because I did. I know Marcus Luttrell did. A lot of people went back to the church, got baptized. My question is, do you think it's because maybe a lot of people, I don't know, in Italy and Rome are worried about losing their power and the realization that maybe you don't need to go to a place on Sunday and give money?
I'm not.
I didn't mean to get all deep, but like I said, we don't have any notes.
No, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, there's a lot. Religion's a very tough subject. We found out.
It's also a very tough school.
Oh,
just turn your volume down just a little bit. I'm getting a little feedback. Turn it down just a little bit.
Ooh.
Just the volume when you hear me, and actually when I'm talking, just mute it. I think you're good. Just a little bit on your computer.
There we go.
Cool.
Right.
Sorry. Anyway, back to chaos. What do you got?
Well, I mean, the Catholic Church has a lot at stake. I mean, it's a very rich organization. There's a lot of power. There's a lot of knowledge. I would love to see what is in the Vatican archives. What is? I mean, there's. I'm not trying to badmouth religion, but I don't think that religion and your relationship with God are necessarily the same thing. I mean, religion is something that everyone's told you. Things that have been. People tell you things for a reason. People have a motive for telling you things. People want you to believe things for a reason.
Follow the money.
Follow the money. I mean, it's who's to say what? Okay, brother to brother, I've seen a change since he started using Ibogaine and started experiencing it.
Well, I go to church now.
But who's maybe? I mean, I don't. We've all, I don't know where demons are gonna come in. I know that you probably come as close as you're gonna find it.
Well, I mean, I'm not. No, there's no doubt in my mind. I just don't think that the psychedelics, the plant-based medicine, brings them in. I just think it's. Again, it's almost like big pharma. Like nobody wants.
They're already here.
But nobody wants the cure. And if St. Peter's Square is going to lose a lot of money if people all of a sudden, well, I found Jesus and it wasn't in a building. I found him. That's one of those things. But it almost is it awoke or awakened me to? It's like if you go to St. Peter's Square, the Vatican, there's a hell of a lot of pictures of men who were popes. Why not more pictures of Jesus? Why aren't we in the archives? Where's our money going? Why are they tax-free? And why all of a sudden are seminary students bitching at me about doing Ibogaine when all of a sudden it's like, well, you don't lose your faith. I haven't. But why is it before we do psychedelics that...
wait a second. Wait. You've been on our 400 combat missions and he's worried Ibogaine is going to make you lose your faith? You kidding me?
Ibogaine brought me back to my faith. No, just if you get too close to the cure, they're going to start fighting you. It's even on some of these psychedelics when before you start it if you say anything, it's too you can pray to anything you believe, but once you get into that mode, it's odd that once you start getting close to a cure for something, the people who are making a lot of money off your sickness start showing up out of nowhere.
That's probably not a coincidence. And like you said, there's no money in the cure. I mean, there's cancer treatment, there's anxiety, there's treatment, therapists, there's I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's like everything. It's like right now with I don't want to get more controversial, but look at the way that money comes in through non-governmental organizations like NGOs, because you start getting funded because you're for a certain cause. Once you cure the cause, you don't just wipe your hands and say it's over. And a prime example is the gay marriage thing. So they started these NGOs for gay marriage and they raised a bunch of money, rightly so. It's the right thing to do. And all of a sudden gay marriage is legal. What do we do now? We're not just going to say we're done. Now we got to go into transgender. Now we got to go into this. More money's flowing in. I can't fire you. I got to stay on top. I got to make money. And it's it's almost depressing or exciting for me to see that everything from medicine to religion to politics to whatever, it all comes down to how does someone else stay in power without the cure?
Greed. It all comes back to greed. You know, I mean, someone's got to get paid. Or, I mean, it's religion. I mean, even you can't tell me we can't make a car that doesn't get better than 40 miles to the gallon. I mean, there's stuff out there. But
well, I mean, there's dudes out there that have invented water powered cars, and they immediately committed suicide. That's so weird.
That's strange times.
Well, I mean, the energy thing too. Like, I've been saying this forever. So have other people. Like, you would think the left would be all about nuclear energy because it's literally zero emissions. They're not about it. They're all about EVs until they fail. Now, Bill Gates is trying to buy 3 Mile Island to get nuclear power. But the good news is no one's paying attention to this. No one is. No, seriously, because like I could pay attention to where my future's going, or I could just stare at TikTok.
Well, there you go. I mean, there's so many. We have distractions everywhere. That's
on purpose
for a reason as well.
It's all on purpose.
No, I mean it's the St. George Carlin one says it's a big club. And you ain't in it.
No, seriously, and he's been saying that for. I remember you. How old were we when we drove? You drove in a 1984 sky blue Buick Skylark to Helena. How in the shit did Mom? What was I, 12?
It was 9. Yeah, I mean you were 16 maybe. Yeah, I was
we drove
20,
to St. George Carlin, but he's been saying that stuff forever. I even got to a point where I didn't like him because I thought he's too far left. No, he was just right on the money.
No, he was right. And then the older you get, the more sense it makes. It's
yeah. He said there's a group in you or a club and you ain't in it. That's it.
No, keep people busy.
When he went down the list of they all got the judges in their pocket, the blah blah blah, and he's explaining what I think now that when we get to a point in politics where they show the whatever elect taking an oath of office. They shouldn't take an oath of office. They should sign a fucking contract or something. I think. Where the hell did you go?
Oh, I had to go and reach. Putting out fires. It's all good.
It's all good. Yeah. So, but well, since we're there, I mean, we can. It is election season, right?
Yeah.
Should we have these politicians signing contracts saying once we get elected we can't lie anymore, legally binding contracts, like, because everyone's full of shit. They lie blatantly.
What would happen if they had to tell the truth? Society would collapse right there.
Well, I mean, a lot of the stuff too is, and I've seen some shit. A lot of it's too because the public couldn't handle a lot of the stuff that they know, but also the politicians that elected aren't that smart, but they're not actually in charge. It's the big banks behind them. But if they actually said what is, like, global warming is bullshit, but the other stuff that might be happening, people would freak the fuck out. Even right now they're talking about faking an alien invasion for the October surprise.
Wouldn't that be something? Holy shit.
Well, how can aliens invade when they're already here?
Well, we got to just get the alien. We divide and conquer there. We get the.
Well, did you? So last week's episode, I was talking about the Grand Canyon and a drone. They flew through the Grand Canyon and this national park in New Mexico where they found these footprints that were 25,000 years old, and the realization that a very, very small percentage of anything that lived on this planet could be fossilized. So we don't know about 99% of the shit, and they're finding stuff that's so old that our history, as we might know it, might not be real. And the stuff they did find, now they're surrounded by military bases. They're finding hieroglyphics in the Grand Canyon and tips of spears with metals that are only from Africa to hunt woolly mammoths, camels, and bison. And for all I know, that could be bullshit because I get yelled at every night when I go to sleep on Instagram by flat earthers.
It's who knows? I mean, there's a lot of stuff could have happened. We are like to think we know everything, and there's just too much unexplained stuff to where we could even make that assumption.
Yeah.
But here we are.
Oh, here we are, and it always seems like it's always an election. It's always an election.
Well, I mean, there's always something. I'm the conspiracy theories I'm hearing about the hurricanes, about we're controlling weather. Cloud seeding, things like. There have been straight out. I've looked up in the sky here, and it's like that's a lot of contrails.
Yeah, it's big. I mean, What have you heard about conspiracy theories and the weather? What? Do you have an example?
Just, I mean, these are fringe. I mean, I've
dude, go fringe as shit. Like I said, I got zero notes here. Might as well go ham. What do you got?
Weather controlled. Weather as a weapon. They were referring to the, I think it was to the earthquake in New Zealand.
Yeah,
they're claiming that we might have had some, or somebody might have had something to do with that. They were talking about. This seems like direct energy weapons. Sci-fi stuff. Just like
they're bad. They're real.
Okay, that answered my question then.
Well, I mean, because of the thing, I mean, and again, too, you can't, it's awesome that our technology is so good, but we're dumbing down everyone so you can believe anything. I believe that the simplest answer is what happened. Mm-hmm. But then you start hearing about these places in Alaska with all these satellites that are hitting the ozone or whatever with these high frequency shit that warms stuff, and then they can direct lasers to move stuff. I'd hope not, because hurricanes are big, but some of the shit that some people have, I don't think we even know. Because I mean, I know personally that nuclear weapons are not our most powerful weapon. I think the knowledge of that is the reason China hasn't invaded Taiwan yet, because they know we're okay. Even with a limp dick in office, they know what we can do. They know what, because we do have competent people. They're just never on TV. But I wouldn't put it past anyone. Like, after signing some of the shit I signed. Weather manipulation? Man, I'd love to be in charge of that, though. I think we could, maybe the Bulls could win another title. But I mean, it all comes down to this election shit. What have you been following the election, the big one?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's and who knows what to believe. I mean, even with I saw just the raw footage of Kamala answer questions, and it's just a word salad. And then you have a form. I think it's a form of censorship when you have the networks saying you can or can't see this. I mean, what that is.
It's a total form of censorship. I mean, look at how JD Vance just tightened up that pudding from whatever station. He's like, have you heard yourself? Because she was trying to justify, well, it's only a handful of apartment buildings taken over by Venezuelan gangs. And he was like, do you hear yourself? In the United States of America. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's getting zero press. We're not hearing about that. Well,
the press is not interested in that. And it kind of brings you back to why. Does it come down to personal power? Is that why because I think, again, this is me just over talking you, that as opposed to being reporters and journalists, now being on TV is power. So the ratings are going to keep you important, because I mean, I've worked at all the news stations, and no one's stupid, and I've been treated well by all of them. But some of the shit they're saying is blatant lies, and they're doing it for a reason. I'm trying to figure out why. I mean, you're in radio. Why? Putting out, like, even saying disinformation. I hate that. The only term I hate worse than disinformation is nothing burger. But hearing people tell blatant lies, or even lying about lies, why do you think someone at CNN or MSNBC or Fox News would do that?
I don't know. I mean, I maybe they want their name out there. Maybe they want the recognition. They want it there. They've got a big contract they're looking at. Maybe they want to get theirs too. I mean, do they believe some of the things they're saying? I mean,
there's no way.
It doesn't even really almost matter if it's the truth. If you can sell it, you can make other people believe things. I mean, that's going to bring you a position of power, which power pays.
Power definitely pays, and we're at a point too where we are simply not telling the truth so we don't offend stupid people. But this is
I mean, okay. I'm going to say this because I'm not on the air. I'm not bringing up my stations, but I mean, can you say? I mean, we just had Christopher Columbus Day. Can you say that? Can you say Indigenous people? How do you say something without offending them? And I'm trying to do it I'm not trying to offend anybody, but I'll do it. I'll stumble into something.
Well, I mean, if you think, not you, but if people think that Christopher Columbus just came here and there weren't already people here, you're lying to yourself.
Absolutely.
But I mean, there were obviously people here before, but to blow him off, and I mean, he's an Italian explorer that led a Spanish armada, and they before Europe discovered the Bahamas, and there were people there, fine. And there were people in the United States, fine. but to try to take like, well, I'm at a point now where Christopher Columbus is the only migrant that the left hates. If he would have gone through what will be Mexico and come through the southern border, we'd have Columbus Day. But and again, they make it seem like it was. They make it seem like the indigenous people in different tribes weren't fucking cutting the eyelids and hearts out of their enemies. Like it's not like everyone was good until the Europeans showed up.
Yeah.
It's like the Europeans showed up and they brought all this carnage and disease. Well, yeah, and they brought the space shuttle. Eventually.
A couple hundred years, but
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're a, what side of the fence you're on. I mean, we're a violent little species. We like to fight.
We're very violent. That's got to be in our DNA too, because it always seems like it comes down to that. We always fight each other. And again, as someone who's been to war, I don't like that at all. But boy, we get. I mean, look at road rage.
Why? I mean, why is that? Why do we have a tendency to? Are those the demons we were talking about? I mean,
possibly
they will possess you. I mean, I've gotten pissed off when somebody cuts in front of me and takes it's an extra 10 seconds for me to get my coffee at McDonald's. It's nothing. But it'll send you into
it's literally not. Well, no, I'm the same way. I get spun up too on nonsense.
But is it because we came from had to hunt for our food, had to defend territory? Is it? How did it become so ingrained in us?
Or is it because they're taking that away from us? Because back in the day, it is hunter-gatherers, and the men hunted, the women gathered. But now it's like, no, men should be weak and women should hunt. It's whatever, and fine, but it all comes back to blasting someone through the Jeep at a red light. Keep it simple, like the shirt says, fire like this. But it does come back to violence too. It's like even with sporting events too, or
Oh, you see it all the time. There's we'll go back to 2012. You and I, Bears Packers. We
Shorty, you were going to talk about Shorty.
Yeah, Shorty was there. No, but I'm pretty sure that I turned to the poor kid behind me after Chicago picked off an interception. I'm pretty sure I gave him the double bird because he was wearing a Packers jersey. That's so.
Well, yeah, but you got to figure you're not flipping off him; you're flipping off the Packers, which is reasonable.
Sure,
but and Packers fans, I think, are the nicest fans in the world.
We have the KC uptown in Butte. Yeah, Bernie Boyle. No, they're great. No, they're great people. Wisconsin people. I mean, we're all cheering for the same league, even.
Well, I feel like a lost soul because the left took away my Sundays. I used to try to skip church I'm serious. I used to try to skip church because the Redskins were on. I would tell them, because that's back in the day, we had 6 and 4, KXLF and some other shit. And I would lie to mom and say, yeah, I went to church at 9 and I just want to, the Redskins are on once a year. And like, I bled burgundy and gold. And then they just take them away because it's offensive to a bunch of white liberal lawyers in DC. So,
well, the Montana guy developed or designed the logo.
Well, yeah, it was him.
Wetzel was his name. I know one of his relatives, Sean Wetzel, great guy, great basketball coach. Guy's 6'9", he's awesome. But he sees things the right way, and it's like this is not an insult. This is we're being referred to as warriors.
Warriors, yeah. How about this? And I wasn't even a fan of Cleveland, but how about they took away the Indians overnight? Their fans didn't even know the Guardians. Are you kidding me? The Guardians? No. I'm going to start saying I'm offended by the Chiefs. I think they should change the Kansas City Chiefs to the Kansas City Bullets, and the Cleveland Redskins.
Well, I mean, our last name is O'Neill, or I mean, it may be apples and oranges, but I mean, Notre Dame Fighting Irish doesn't really offend me. I don't.
Wasn't there a in Idaho an intramural team started by Native Americans, but there was like Native guys, white guys, and black guys, and they called themselves the Fighting Whiteys.
That's brilliant.
No, they did somewhere. I'm going to find it. No, that's good. Whatever. if you named a team the Pasty White Big Dick Redheads, I wouldn't be offended.
Well, we're not going to be able to fit that all on the front of the jersey. We'll just.
All right. So now, because we're coming to a close here, I need to get serious with you.
All right.
Because we got to discuss this, and I bring you up quite a bit as the manager at the McDonald's where I worked.
Yeah, I'm the McDork. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. But also Chris worked there, another O'Neill, and then Corey O'Neill worked
Corey
there.
worked there.
Stacy Boom Boom Keefe worked there. Her brother worked there as well.
TJ, yeah, we had
TJ Keefe's awesome.
Jim Combo,
the Jumbo Jimbo combo, because we started the D-bag meal because they had the A, B through D bags and the D-bag. And who knew at the time to say D-bag would be so cool?
We were the original D-bags.
With the original D-bags. Anyway, so that just gave me a shirt idea. So for everybody listening, give me a thumbs up or thumbs down in the emojis. Should we be the original D-bags? Dude, if you have, yes, an upside down bag with an M, but a W, yes. Okay, that's good. But we discussed this earlier. I just found out that McDonald's now makes a Big Mac with McChicken.
Mm-hmm.
Please give me your thoughts. Oh my God, how good is that?
It almost seems like it's a little too much sandwich. There's
a lot going on there.
It's I'm amused. I like the first couple bites, but after that, I want to go back to the original Big Mac. I don't know.
Yeah, that's why you get one as well. And then to wash it down, you put fries on the quarter pounder also. No,
in the process of my, I had to throw. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I interrupt. Go ahead. You do.
No, I saved up about probably 20 of those about a year ago. They were giving away Big Mac sauces like it was a chicken McNugget thing.
No.
And I saved them. Yeah. Oh, I had them, but I.
Do you know
I had to throw them away with the move.
As the ultimate McDork, do you know what the is it just Thousand Island dressing or what is the Big Mac sauce?
No, it's kind of dill based, I think. Like me. No.
Man, you beat me to that.
It's more somebody got into it. Somebody did a lot because people at McDonald's won't talk. I mean, I told them, I pulled rank. I'm like, I was a swing manager.
I don't know if you know the fuck I am.
Care.
Yeah.
It's it's a dill-based Thousand Island heavy mayo.
I think if you chopped up I think if you took Thousand Island, chopped up a little bit more pickles and then some mayo and mixed it, I think you'd be onto something.
I want to say paprika's involved too, but I
paprika is always involved. Paprika is a silent offender.
It's like a rouge for food.
So I need to tell you this too, because you like to cook. I like to cook. I went to make a chuck roast crock pot, and there's a bunch of different pots that I use. They didn't have a chuck roast, so I got 3 sirloins, right? And this recipe is insane. So I stacked 3, peppered the shit out of all of them, stacked them up in a crock pot, and then I put in the powdered ranch dressing, the powdered brown gravy, and then the powdered what's the other one I put in there? Brown gravy and ranch and something else, whatever. Mix it up. Covered them with beef broth, and then I put it on low for 8 hours. Halfway through, took 3 cups of the broth out, mixed it with flour and made a roux, put it back in. So basically I'm cooking steaks in gravy.
That's the smartest thing I've ever heard.
Basically boiling steaks in gravy.
It's like a Chicago Bears crock pot that it first of all, you turn it on and somebody usually fumbles it and it gets run back for a touchdown. It cooks real. It's really.
I was gonna say that the Bears crock pot's awesome. You just got to plug it into 1985.
The lovely Jess calls it my crock is shit.
Brilliant.
It cooks really. It's not really a crock pot. I mean, you can get a roast done in like 3 hours. I mean,
Dude, I'm such a big fan of the crock pot, and then we have like a lot of the wedding presents we got these. They're big pots that you actually put in the oven at 250 for like 8 hours. The similar thing, but man, you talk about.
I think they call that a Dutch oven. Is that a Dutch oven? No, that's something else. Never mind.
That's way different. Yeah,
you don't want that near your stove.
Hang on. I gotta find this. Look, I shouldn't be doing this. I'm not taking notes. I'm looking. Chuck roast. Okay. I don't even know there was a third one: onion soup, brown gravy, and ranch. Onion soup, brown gravy, and ranch.
Oh, there you go. That's the.
And then beef broth, and then halfway through you take a couple out and then put it in a pan then roux the shit out of it. Dude, cooking your steaks in gravy is where it's at. So, yeah.
I know what I'm doing. Wait, no, my crock pot's put away. I'm moving. I'm gonna have a can of condensed soup and a good cry for dinner.
Well, I mean, we talked about the Bears crock pot, so it is dinner time. I might go get my crock pot and beat the shit out of the Patriots. That wasn't even fair.
No, those were the good old days. That was Jim McMahon. I need a follow back from Jim McMahon on something.
All right, I'll hit him up.
What it is. MySpace. Hit me up on MySpace, Jim McMahon.
Hit me up on MySpace because Pong was busy. Oh, that's funny. Well, since we're I really appreciate you filling this time for me because I wasn't sure what I was going to do. I have no notes. I'm in the middle of moving. I got my shit behind me. Dave Grohl and this awesome picture of St. Ron as well. So, in conclusion, and you heard
that one, Mom would know. Yeah,
that's Ron Swanson.
Yeah, she Dave Grohl. We could probably get past her.
Oh, did she watch? Has she watched?
I think she's watched Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec. Ron Swanson is one of the greatest characters of all time.
Dave Grohl. Did you see? Not Ron Swanson, but I can't remember his name. Civil War. He played the president. Just nailed it. Just what a very limited screen time and just wow. All right.
But look at that mustache too.
Oh my God! I mean, you can almost taste the soup.
All right. Well, in closing on episode 112, do you have any fun anecdotes or whatever you'd like to? How you like?
I think we covered Creed.
Air Jordans.
Air Jordans.
Mm-hmm.
Sport reading glasses is all I got.
Oh, I love those, dude. I have to find. Oh, I have your hat here too, by the way. I got to get it to you.
Oh, hell yeah! All right.
Yeah, this is a DMT hat. What else we got back there? Yeah. Cool. Well, this has been a blast. I appreciate you doing this with me.
Anytime, man.
And I do get requests to have you back on. So thanks very much too. And
thanks, Mom.
So you're the one.
Yeah, she's got a few aliases.
So, and hopefully we have, so I'm in the process of moving. I have a couple studios, a new place we're moving though. I'd love to get you out in person before the next Creed. We're going to the next Creed concert.
Oh yeah.
Well, not the next one, but the one in Madison Square Garden. And we might just follow them around like groupies if you're cool.
Why not? We could be at that point in life, man. I'm up for it.
I'm ready. If I can remember onion soup, I can remember Scott Stapp. All right. Well, on that, Tommy, thanks so much. This has been a blast as usual. We'll do this again very soon.
Absolutely, Rob. Thank you.
Of course.
Well, that is always a great time. I really appreciate Tommy O coming down here all the way from Montana, even though it was a Zoom call and I don't think he left his studio. Always a good time, and I appreciate the feedback. Remember, it's at the Operator Podcast on Instagram or at McHuya on Instagram and Twitter. And let me know what you think. I did my best to not interrupt, and hopefully we didn't get too crazy with the F-bombs. But just enjoy it. Don't be afraid to take the shot, and you're never out of the fight.